I am the host, Richard Ravenbrook, a man, a life coach, and a spiritual mentor who has endeavored to find real spiritual truth and self-enlightenment. With experiences in various ministry types, pagan traditions, and even magical paths. With a love for Mother Earth and the balance of life, I work to channel spirit and to help educate and mentor those striving to deconstruct from mainstream religion and to empower them to find the divinity within themselves and to the truth around them. The messages are focused on everyday life, creating an environment of real coexistence, a world of mutual respect, love, and dignity. The pagan preacher is all things, the preacher and the pagan, speaking from the wisdom of spirit. Hello everybody, this is Richard Ken again from the Pagan Empire podcast. I want to talk to everybody today about paganism. What does paganism mean to you? What does it mean to me? Does it mean different things to different people? You know, paganism, the term itself, is an umbrella term for all the different religions, all the different religious paths that were here before the spreading of Christianity and, other religions that were spread massive conversions throughout the world. Before that time, each country had their own separate god and goddesses. They had their own separate belief systems. They had their separate ways of life and the ways of doing different things. Paganism means different things to different people. To some people, eclectic people, paganism can be the simple loving of Mother Earth, the loving of all the creatures on this earth, understanding the balance of life, understanding the need for balance, caring and tending to Mother Earth. It's about understanding our connection with all things living. To other people, it may mean something entirely different. But that's the thing about paganism, isn't it? That it can mean different things to different people. And it's accepting that we can be different, that we can believe different. That umbrella term of pagan can be so wide and so vast and so open to exploration. Most of us probably don't even know our full roots. We don't know exactly where we come from, for sure. We can get different, DNA tests and things like that, and we can roundabout see, where we come from. Some of us actually know, but very few of us actually know everything. We don't really know where we come from, therefore we can't positively say, other than the drawing within us, to what our ancestors were. What faith, what religion, or if any at all, did our ancestors actually follow? But paganism is so open, so eclectic, with so much opportunity to just to be who it is that you are and to explore, that it is becoming one of the most predominant religions in the world today. It kind of fell to the side, I guess you want to say, during a lot of the growth of corporate religions here, especially here in the United States. But I think people are beginning to wake up and see that maybe those corporate religions weren't the right religions for them. That there are other ways, and there's other, just the fact that there's other ways that people can believe, and that they're just as real as anybody else's. Don't let anybody tell you that, your belief system isn't real, that paganism isn't real. Whatever branch or area of paganism that you follow, don't ever let anybody tell you that it's not real or it's not, just as tangible as any other religion. But the exploration of paganism, the opportunities within paganism, because it's so broad and so many areas of, you can get excited about it. But even in paganism, we have both light and dark. We have people that take things to a lighter source, I guess you want to say, and those that take things to a darker source. That's like basically saying good and evil. We have people. Even myself, I don't truly believe that evil can do anything on this earth unless we allow it to. What I mean is, evil cannot manifest itself unless we make the choice to do so. Everything that we do here on earth is a choice. Every action is a reaction, and every choice is a matter of our emotional control and how we perceive things and how we deal with these things. But even in paganism, we can see this. I see it on social media. I see it in just our different various communities that even we have issues, even in the pagan communities. But it still is probably one of the most wonderful and open and clarifying paths that any individual can have. What can you say? But what does paganism mean to you? I know to me, I consider myself, the founder of the pagan empire. I consider paganism just about what I said. A connection with Mother Earth. The understanding of the balance of life and the need for that balance. The tending to Mother Earth and the creatures that are upon this earth. Understanding our connection with things. To me, that's paganism. Gods and goddesses, they're all personified in the things that we see. Everything from the trees that are alive and breathing and that talk to each other. People want to say that, you're crazy if you think trees talk to each other. But even scientists today have proven that trees actually do communicate. In a different way, yes. But just because things don't operate the same way we do, doesn't make it any less real or any less tangible. Things are alive everywhere. Things have emotions. Animals have personalities and character. And we can see these things when we begin to look deeper into a spiritual sense, in a spiritual realm, not just what we see physically, but see deeper into the mysteries of this life in this world. To me, that's what paganism is. It may mean something completely, entirely different to you. And that's what's great about paganism, is that you can do that. But I just want to say that in this paganism journey, we've seen in the different corporate religions, we see the separations, the arguments in such things as the many denominations of the Christian church. That we can see that arguments divide and they separate and they tear down, just like they have in the corporate Christian church. The corporate Christian church is separated by dozens and dozens of different various denominations, not being able to decide what is truth. But we don't want that in paganism. Because paganism, we can have basically our own truth. Because if we look within, we can find that truth. And that's kind of what it's about. That connection to the things that are around us. Hearing and feeling with things more than just our ears and our eyes, but a real connection. And I know that I'm talking very spiritual sense. And I know to a lot of pagans and to a lot of paganism, it's a very physical, fleshly religion. But it doesn't have to be. Native Americans believe in the Great White Spirit. They believe that all things have a spirit, and so do I. And to me, because it was a religion before the mass conversions with Christianity and other religions, that to me it is, or it does fall under the term pagan. They may disagree. Like I said, this is my personal opinion. But like I said, that's the thing about this term. That it is so wide and so broad and so vast. And just the fact that, terms, and I've never cared for labels. I've never cared for being labeled in that description, because with all spiritualities, we evolve, we grow, we change. And I think that confuses people sometimes, because, people will say, well, a few years ago you believed this, and now you believe that, and now you're on this path, and you were on that path. But that means you're evolving. That means you're growing. That means, yes, you're changing. But there has to be change with growth. In everything that grows, there is change. Nothing stays the same. A seedling grows into a tree, a mighty tree, and a puppy grows into a full-sized dog, and a baby grows into an adult, and it goes on and on and on. But growth shows change. And so does true spirituality. Spirituality, yeah, I'll get that word out there. Spirituality. Even in paganism. And I try to talk very seriously when I speak about these things. And maybe sometimes I take things too serious. But spirituality is serious to me. Paganism is very serious to me. Mother Earth and the God and goddesses are very important to me. Important that we honor them and put them in our lives and remember what it is that they said and taught us how to live. And I think we've forgotten a lot of these things. We've forgotten the education that they gave us from the beginning. We've lost our focus on Mother Earth, and we've kind of leaned more to taking care of ourselves and our luxuries and our wants and our desires rather than doing what's right. All we got to do is just look out the window and see what it is that we see. Do we see Mother Earth? Do we see her creations? No. We see concrete buildings and bricks and just everything, and cars going by, and just all kinds of things that are great in our personal life, and the luxuries that have made our life more comfortable. But at what cost? How many of Mother Earth's creatures have died, ceased existing because of our luxuries, our need, and our lack of understanding the balance of life? How many? How many things have been destroyed? To me, this is paganism. Paganism is about loving everything. Loving the earth, loving creations. Loving the, how do we want to say it? Oh man, this is kind of, loving the potential of people. loving the potential in things rather than seeing the negative. And and I try to do this as much as I possibly can, and I try to mentor others into doing the same things. And it's truly hard, especially on social media, when you have people that are attacking your character or attacking something that you believe in. You want to defend it. And I too have fell weakness to this, where I have kind of lashed out in a defensive mode, and maybe I should have just allowed the God and goddesses to deal with that for me rather than me trying to deal with it myself. But I think you understand what it is I'm talking about. What does paganism mean to you? Does it mean about the same thing as what I'm saying that it means to me? That we can truly be in touch with the gods and the goddesses, that we can have real communication, real connection, real intimate conversations, that we can touch Mother Earth and her creations, that we can actually communicate with life and other lives. I have various pets, but I don't consider them pets. I consider them family, and I think many other people do as well. Their dogs, their cats, whatever it may be, their family. But have you ever noticed that you can actually speak to your pet, to your animal, to your family member? That they actually respond, that they actually have a personality, that they actually somewhat understand what it is that you're saying? That they communicate, yes, in a different way. They don't have the vocal cords that we do, that we use to communicate. They use body language and various other things. But that's the whole thing. And to me, this all encompasses paganism. Because you're going to say sometimes, Richard, why are you talking about this when you're talking about paganism? But to me, this is paganism. That this religion of paganism is about touching something that's real, truly tangible, that you can see with your eyes, you can smell with your scent, you can touch with your fingers. All these different things are tangible because we are spiritual beings living in a physical vessel on this physical earth. And if we use our physical bodies in the way that we were designed to, that we can open up so many doors to new things. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Can you feel what I'm talking about? I know we're all hungry. We're all hungry. We know there's something else out there. And I kind of feel that even when I'm trying to talk into this microphone, talking about it, in this podcast, and I'm speaking to the people that are out there and those that will listen to this. And if you're out there right now and you feel that, you know that you want something else, you just haven't found it in corporate religion, you haven't found it in Christianity, or you haven't found it in whatever religion that you are in, but you know there's something else out there. Let me tell you something. I was there too. As a former Christian minister and, Christian columnist, and, I've done all kinds of different various things trying to find my way home. Because as a child, I studied more into, paganism. Paganism was my thing. And my very first real book that I had for myself was a book of white witchcraft. That's kind of where it started. And because of outside pressures and things, I kind of went a different direction, but I was called home. I knew that what I was doing just because people told me it was the right thing to do, but it wasn't me. And I wasn't feeling that was home for me. And I wasn't feeling that was the truth. And I wasn't feeling that I was getting everything that the gods wanted me to get. That I was only getting a portion when I could have had the entire plate. And I know you're out there and you're probably thinking the same thing that I was. And all it takes is that one step to say, you know what, and trust me, I didn't. I had no idea where I was really going back to. All I knew is I had to get out of where I was. The very first thing I did was went and bought me a new crystal necklace. You know, it's just one step. Just one thing that is calling to you. Go to the woods. Go to that creek that you feel comfort. Go to that place that you find comfort. Many people find that is their church, is Mother Nature. In the forest with the animals. That is where you get your connection with the God and goddesses in Mother Earth. That is where I get it. That's where I go to heal, is the woods, the forest, to get away from all humanity, to get away from the hustle and bustle and the chaos of this life, and find yourself at home where you belong and where you should have always been, where we all should have remained. We lost our way in this life and in this world. All you got to do is look around and you can see that everything's about money anymore. We have become slaves to debt. We have become slaves to everything from the electric company to, house mortgages, to our car payments, to whatever else, but we have become our own slaves. Because we gave up what was already given to us, and we were given this earth, and we were given all the things that we needed to survive. Everything was given to us, but it wasn't enough, was it? As humanity has destroyed this planet and has done more harm to Mother Earth than ever good. But there's a time that we can turn things around. Paganism, and those that fall under the term of paganism, in my belief, will be the ones that heal this earth. They will be the ones that are the remnants of this earth, the ones that restore this earth, and to put her back where she was in the beginning, where she flourished, and nature and creatures were everywhere, growing strong and thriving. That balance in its perfection. We as human beings destroyed that because we got away from our roots. We got out of that term paganism because someone told us that term paganism was a bad term, that someone labeled that term as evil or bad, and it's the furthest thing from bad. The church first named us pagan because we were the country dwellers. We were those outside of the reach of the mass conversions. They were those people that chose to stay with the old ways rather than convert. They were those that simply didn't want to convert, and simply those that hadn't been converted yet. That's where the term pagan originated. But in today's world, it means something entirely different. We take something that was meant as bad, and we turn it into something that is good. So many times different symbols that were once good have turned into bad, and bad has turned into good, that we get confused on exactly what is right, what is wrong, because we just listen and we follow way too much, rather than actually researching things and feeling those things. Because truth, especially when it comes to spiritual truth, you feel it. You truly can feel it within you. It's a true, tangible, true, physical experience. It's not something, I read it in a book and that's what I do. It's real. It's seen. it's feeling, it's hearing. All these things happen in true paganism if you're open to it. And that's the purpose of, the pagan empire, is to open the doors so that teachers and mentors and instructors of these different paths can have the opportunity to teach people that are hungry, whether it be in the prison systems, whether it be in schools, whether it be in your homes, whether it be in just a pen pal session where we just write each other and instruct each other on what we know, because that's how we learn. Nobody in this world is, knows everything. Nobody on this earth is the great teacher. But we can share what we know. And if we all share our wisdom and our knowledge, then we become more enlightened as humanity. And that's what it's about. It's not about arguing about dogma or gatekeeping a certain religious path, but simply just allowing people to explore that path for themselves. And if they ask, if they request a more detail, well, should I do this or should I do that? Then, feel free to give them that information if that's what they're wanting. But it's not something that has to be forced or should be forced, because in spirituality, nothing can be forced. It has to be voluntary. It has to be willing. And everything we know about the gods and goddesses, it's about honesty. It's about willingness. It's about openness. It's not about just reading a book and just doing things because someone told you it was the right way to do them. What do you feel? What moves you? What opens your heart, opens your mind? What satisfies your soul? Those are the things that matter in this world, because no matter what anybody says, ultimately, it's about you. It's about you and your experience on this earth. It's not about what religion you follow. It's not about what label of paganism that you choose, or if you choose any label or term. I consider myself just a seeker, an explorer of spirituality. I consider myself a pagan because I don't follow that one God ideology. I believe there are more than one. Even Scripture says there is more than one. All religions point to where there is more than one. But it's just about being true to yourself, being open to yourself. Paganism is a beautiful experience. And so many things have tried to taint that with lies and just, false stories of what paganism was all about. Research things for yourself. Be open to them. And understand that there is another way. That there isn't just that one way. That there's many ways. If anybody were to ever need just someone to walk with them, I would glad to be the one to walk with you. Like I said, nobody knows everything. But if we walk together on this path, we're a whole lot more likely to reach the end of this path when we have many walking with us. Because we all have our separate gifts, we have our separate talents, and together we can be so much more than we are right now. Just really stop and think. What is paganism to you? Have you truly followed that? Not the book, not what people are telling you, but what's in your heart. Are you following what's in your heart? Are you hearing and following that calling that speaks to you? Whatever it is, follow it, because that is your happiness. That is your destiny. Don't do things just because people tell you it's the right thing to do, or it's the right way to do things. Do them because it's what you choose to do. That's what paganism is all about. Freedom, liberty, and just that exploration of life and this connection to life. Enjoying this life. Enjoying what it is that we were put here to do. We weren't put here to be slaves to debt. We weren't put here to just work a job 40 hours a week and struggle to keep the lights on. That's not what we're here for. But that's what we've become because we made bad choices in the past. Our ancestors made bad choices. But we can change that if we want to. One day at a time, one person at a time, we can change that. But first we have to say, you know what? I'm a pagan. And I'm proud of being a pagan. And I'm going to walk tall. And I'm going to be who it is that I am. I don't have to label myself as a particular type of pagan. But I am a pagan. I can be a seeker. I can be an explorer. I can test out all the waters of all paganism that I choose. And I don't have to be a gatekeeper. I don't have to listen to gatekeepers. And I don't have to do anything that I don't choose to, because that's what paganism is about. It's about that freedom. So reach out. Be the person that you are. Don't be afraid. Be courageous. Stop listening to the haters. And just be you. This has been Richard Kent from the Pagan Empire Incorporated. Remember, if you ever want to be a guest speaker, just shoot us an email at thepaganempire.com or thepaganempire@gmail.com. Let us know, because we would be glad to have you. If you need anything, feel free to call, feel free to email with your questions. If you need a guest speaker, if you need anything like that, be open. We'll be there. Be blessed, everybody, and blessed be. Thank you, everyone. This is Richard Ravenbrook. From my heart to yours, I hope you are blessed. Please be a blessing. Share these podcasts. Share my short videos. Tell the world the work that's being done. Help me open the minds of those so closed. Help me bring into the fold those seeking truth and enlightenment. Be blessed.